So, courtesy of Yamaha Center Helsingborg, we now have this 2025 Yamaha Tracer 9 GT for a little quick ride. I'm a previous owner of the previous Tracer 9. I had a 2021 model with the old front fascia, the old displays, the twin displays, and I had quite a few miles on that. Took it for a European trip through Germany, Czechia, Austria. We went to Slovenia, so I have many kilometers on the previous model. Now this is a 2025. It's been heavily updated, and I really mean when I say heavily. The front fascia is brand new. We now have a more symmetrical face due to the Yamaha Matrix LEDs. Previously, when you had the low beams on, only one side was lit up, the other side was not lit up because that was the high beams. Now for 2025, when we have the LED matrix, we now have a more symmetrical front fascia. We also have the radar for the adaptive cruise control. I think we have a camera here for the matrix LEDs. Front windshield is electrically operated, so it goes up and down. Yeah, like I said, it's been heavily updated. We have new panniers. This is a keyless system, so the whole bike is operated keylessly now. The panniers are keyless, the fuel tank is keyless, everything is keyless now. We have a new display, new hand controls. Yeah, the subframe has been stretched to accommodate more space for when you two-up riding. There's a new Quickshifter. I think the new Quickshifter was introduced in 24, but this might be a new Quickshifter for 25 as well. It's a Euro 5 Plus engine. Yeah, let's take it for a test drive. Let's see how the new Tracer 9 GT drives. Alright, so sitting in the cockpit of the Tracer 9 GT 2025 model, we have new switchgear, we have new, blinkers, automatically deactivated. I'm going to show you this one. So we have, for this year, we have electrically operated windscreen that goes up and down. I think the new Yamaha system is really intuitive. It's really easy to operate. We have driving modes here: street, rain, custom 1, custom 2, and sport. I'm gonna keep it in sport. Yeah, what else can I say? This bike feels quite similar to the previous model when you're sitting on it. It feels a tiny bit wider. I'm 5'10" and I can almost flat foot the bike on both sides. The seat has been, it's not as wide in the front. It doesn't lean forward as much as the previous model did. And yeah, so just the rear mirrors. And let's take it for a ride. Okay, so instantly when we take off, the clutch feels great. The clutch is really easy to operate. If low rev fueling is good as well. I feel like I have plenty of control of the engine. Okay, so we have quite cold tires, but instantly in this roundabout feels great. Small bump. Actually, the suspension feels a tiny bit better tuned. Like I said, the low rev fueling is good. Doesn't feel like the bike is about to stall on me. Let's take it out on the highway. Plenty of power, yeah. As you might notice watching this clip, watching me drive this bike, you can notice that the clip is quite choppy. That's because I'm trying to shoot a Swedish and an English version in one clip. So that's why the video is quite choppy, because sometimes I speak Swedish, sometimes I speak English, and then I chop it up into two different languages. So we have a Swedish and an English version of this test ride. So, taking the Tracer 9 GT 2025 out on the highway. I'm gonna take it up to 75 miles an hour, and we're gonna see how the wind protection is with this new electrically operated windscreen. So that was a bit too quick. Now we have 120 kilometers an hour, or approximately 75 miles an hour. 75 miles an hour, and I can confirm that the wind buffeting is dramatically reduced with this new 2025 model. The new electrically operated windscreen does a much better job of blocking out the wind, and mostly, or should I say primarily, the wind buffeting is dramatically reduced with this model. It doesn't wind buffet half as much as I did before. The air is much cleaner around me. I can feel the wind coming above my helmet here, and this windscreen ends in my eyesight, so whatever I see from here upwards, it's above my eyesight. So, but still, the air hits me on top of my head, and I feel like the air is going around me quite much. There's some wind hitting me in the chest, but that's minuscule. That's not much at all. Yeah, so highway driving, this bike is much improved over the previous one, I have to say. The seat is much more comfortable than it used to be. It's much flatter. It's not as tilted forward as the previous one used to be. So the previous one, it actually felt like it was pushing you towards the fuel tank. This one doesn't feel like that. I feel like I have much room to move about. The new indicator button is quite changed. If you press it lightly, it will only blink 3 times. And if you push it hard, the blinker will stay on for a longer period of time. 18 seconds, as the dealer told me. So let's try it out. Let's push it lightly. There we go. 3 blinks, and it automatically cancels. If I push it harder, it stays on. So I'm gonna take this exit, I'm gonna turn around and go back from where I came from. I'm gonna stay quiet so you can listen how the engine sounds. Yeah, so the Quickshifter is dramatically improved. I cannot actually tell you how much smoother this Quickshifter feels. The previous Tracer 9 GT, the Quickshifter was quite harsh. I felt like you had to firmly press it up to change gears up. You had to firmly press the shifter down to reduce gears. For this year, the new improved Quickshifter, it's buttery smooth. You have to barely poke it to change gears up and barely touch it to change gears down. The weather today is quite windy, as you can probably tell. Still feel like the wind buffeting is dramatically reduced with this model here. However, I have to say, when it comes to the wind that you're hearing, it's, I will say, 50% due to the weather, because we're currently driving in a headwind right now. So when it comes to the power of the 2025 Tracer 9 GT, Yamaha has, from my knowledge, not changed anything when it comes to engine performance. We still have 120 horsepower. We still have a tad bit under 100 newton meters of torque. But I can say, when Yamaha claims 120 horsepower, they really mean 120 horsepower. Previously, I've owned a Harley Davidson. I've had a Ducati 1260S Multistrada. Used to own a Tracer 9 GT. I used to have a Yamaha MT-10, and also used to have a Triumph Tiger 1200 that on paper is supposed to have 150 horsepower. However, I can tell you that this motorcycle, this bike, this Tracer 9 GT, with the claimed 120 horsepower, feels just as quick as the 150 horsepower Triumph Tiger 1200. So driving the Tracer 9 GT 2025, I can say I don't feel any lack of power. This is good enough, plenty enough to have fun and to go on long road trips. So now I'm gonna keep quiet for a bit. I'm gonna take this bike through a couple of corners, I'm gonna feel the quick shifter, the acceleration, the deacceleration, the brakes, and then I'm gonna get back with a summary what I think about the chassis, brakes and suspension of this bike. I have to say the bike was super easy to put into neutral. So the suspension on the Tracer 9 is typically Tracer 9 firm. This is by all means not an uncomfortable motorcycle. However, I have to say, if you expect like BMW GS suspension where it feels like you're riding on a couch, you'll be disappointed, because this is by any means not a couch when it comes to suspension. It's typically Yamaha firm. However, I cannot say that this bike is by any means uncomfortable. And also I have to say I have not been playing with the suspension. I'm still in sport mode. I have not adjusted the preload on the suspension in the rear, so keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure you can soften up the suspension with the settings, but it's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. So braking hard, I'm not sure if you noticed that both the blinkers came on flashing when I hit the brakes. And when it comes to braking power, yeah, this bike has plenty of brakes. Let's try again. Okay, so I just did a high-speed test and I can confirm when it comes to the infamous Yamaha wobble when you pick up speed, which the wobble is generated by wind hitting the hand guards and the rear view mirrors. I can confirm that there's still some wobble. However, the high-speed wobble when it comes to adventure tourers is present on most adventure touring bikes. So it's not typical Yamaha Tracer 9. A lot of bikes have a high-speed wobble, and I had a very slight wobble. Wasn't really that bad. All you have to do in that case, just don't grab the steering wheel too hard. Just let the bike do what it does. Keep calm, and the bike most probably won't develop a death wobble. However, that's only present above 100 miles an hour, so I wouldn't be too much worried. But I can confirm, however, it's been improved on this bike. There's still some wobble, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. Low speed stability. No feet on the ground there. So, the 2025 Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. I can confirm much has been improved. It feels quite similar to the previous outgoing model, however I can confirm that I cannot really put my finger on exactly what's different, what feels different, but if you're considering a Tracer 9 GT and you do have some bad experiences of the previous one, which puts you off from the Tracer 9 GT, I really think you should give it a chance. Go to Yamaha dealership, give the new Tracer 9 GT a test drive, because I can really say there's so much improved. The bike feels completely different. I don't know exactly every single technical aspect what has been changed with this bike, but it feels so much improved compared to the outgoing model. The stability, everything feels great. The brakes are great. Yeah, the chassis feels great. The seat is much more comfortable, as you can probably tell. The passenger seat it's quite a bit wider than it used to be. The panniers, well, they're probably just as big as they used to be. Now, this bike sits at a very competitive price compared to other bikes, and needless to say, the new 2025 feels much better. It feels like you have much more room in the seat. The seat angle is improved, quite comfortable. This is not a comfort seat, so you can still opt up for a comfort seat. However, the angle is much improved. It's much flatter here, and then it goes up a bit here. The screen is great. The wind protection is much improved. The whole bike is keyless. You have keyless panniers. You know, even I'm considering, and I have to say it looks great in this color, the gray on gray with the new matrix LED headlights. It looks much more symmetrical, much more meaner. When it comes to the matrix LEDs, I know it's been dividing people when it comes to the looks. I think the new matrix LEDs, at least when you see it in first hand, when you see it live, it looks much better than it does in pictures. I don't think the pictures give the new front headlights justice. Anyways, the new Tracer 9 GT 2025, it's really a great, fantastic bike. It is. It feels great. It's really stable in low speeds, stable in high speeds. You get a slight wobble when you pass 100 miles an hour, but it's really not that bad. It's been improved from the previous model. But yeah, it's, what else can I say? It's a fantastic bike. Oh yeah, nearly forgot, we need to have a look on these panniers. So here's where you lock and unlock them. So now you're unable to unlock them. If you press this button, you can hear the central locking working. You can push this button, grab here, open up. It's just as big as the previous one. However, Yamaha has provided you with a small surprise. It's now backlit on both sides. Let's see on this side. As you can see, they are backlit. We have the straps so all your stuff don't fall out, and I would really recommend you guys using these panniers if you have some gear in them. Buy insert bags for them. It'll improve your life quite a bit. Once again, thank you so much to Yamaha Center Helsingborg for offering me to test drive this bike. If you live in southwest Sweden or maybe in Denmark and you're considering a Yamaha motorcycle, you should really consider buying it from Yamaha Center Helsingborg, because Daniel and Ralph that works there, they are really fantastic people. They are so great to work with. I've bought and sold many bikes, but no motorcycle dealership has left me so pleased as Yamaha Center in Helsingborg. So really shout out to Yamaha Center Helsingborg. They are great guys. Thank you so much for giving me this test ride.